Hi. Today we're talking about food and mood. So grab yourself a coffee and come and join me. No, really, make yourself some coffee. Hi, my name's Christine L. Conroy. Welcome to Happy Stuff and Fluff, a channel for women over 50 who are getting happy and growing younger. So today we're talking about food and mood. Actually, it might be a little bit dark in here. That's because usually I have, there's a window right behind me and it's usually streaming in sunlight, but it's just about to go dark outside. Okay, so food and mood then. Well, it's perhaps at this time of day, actually, late in the afternoon, you may notice that your mood dips a little bit. Or perhaps sometimes you feel a little bit down, but you're not quite sure why. Well, this video might hold some solutions for you on that score. Because I'm not just talking today about people who are depressed or who have feelings of depression. I'm talking about anyone who experiences low mood from time to time. So mood disorders are very common, especially as we get older. But there are studies showing that changing the way we eat can affect how we feel. So we can do things with our diet that's going to help to make us feel better. And that's why I want to talk about food today. Now, there are a number of things, obviously, that can affect us negatively as we get older. There are a couple of things in particular I want to talk about or that I find interesting. But, things that can affect us negatively, blood sugar imbalances is one. Lack of amino acids in our diet, such as dopamine and serotonin, we'll talk about those. Lack of essential fats and lack of B vitamins. Now, it's the vitamins and blood sugar that I want to talk about because I find this so interesting. Symptoms of blood sugar imbalances include fatigue, irritability, insomnia, poor concentration and depression. Vitamin B and symptoms of vitamin B deficiencies include vague fears. I've had those. Emotional stability. Well, yes, I think I've experienced that too. Forgetfulness, confusion, and depression. So you can see why I'm particularly interested in these two things. Now, something I didn't realise that I think is fascinating is that B vitamins are required in order to metabolise sugar in our bodies. But sugar doesn't actually provide any vitamin B, which means the more sugar you eat, the more likely your B vitamins will be depleted and you'll be vitamin B deficient, which could result in vague fears, emotional instability, forgetfulness, confusion, and depression. So thinking about this, I don't think we can talk, or I can talk on Happy Fluff and Stuff about happiness without addressing these issues because, we're talking about leveraging that 40%. Remember the 40% solution? If you've forgotten what that is, or if you haven't seen that video, I'll leave a link. But in terms of changing our behaviour, it's going to make it a whole lot more difficult for us to do that if we're also being affected by the inside because we are depleted in, for example, vitamin B. So, as I say, I think we need to talk about food. Now, I'm not an expert and I'm not a nutritionist. In fact, as you know from my last video, I don't even do the cooking in my house. However, Mr. Kitchen cooks, but he also shops every day. We do not eat any processed food at all. And also in the last 6 months or so, we've gone on a low carbohydrate food plan. I'm loath to call it a diet because that sounds as though it's temporary. This is a permanent thing. And we've cut out many of the carbohydrates we used to eat. So not the good carbohydrates, things like white bread, which is unfortunate because I absolutely love some artisan white breads. Potatoes, unfortunate again. I love mashed potatoes. But we've kind of weaned ourselves off those things. Now, immediate result, Mr. Kitchen, over the last couple of years, when he's gone to the Well-Man clinic, they've expressed concern about his level of cholesterol. So they'd said to him when he was going to go back a next time, they would suggest very strongly that he start to take medication to help with that. Anyway, as I say, we went on this low carbohydrate diet. He went back this time and they were staggered at how quickly and how much he'd managed to reduce his cholesterol. So when I'm talking about manipulating our food in order to make us feel better, I'm not just talking about it, we are actually working on this ourselves. So there's that. But then there's also the fact that I do think if the scientists and those who know better are telling us that we can do things with our food that's going to enhance our mood, then I think on Happy Stuff and Fluff we ought to know about it. And so I'm very excited about this because I've invited, and she's very graciously accepted, an expert to come and talk to us about this and about how we can introduce better foods, good foods into our diets to enhance our mood. So I'll tell you when that's going to happen. It's going to happen soon. In the meantime, there are a couple of things that you can do today that might help you with this, and one of them is to cut down on sugar. Now, we keep hearing this, and we know sometimes what we need to do, we just don't do it, or we need to be reminded. Well, let this be a reminder then. Cut down on your sugar intake. Scary fact, there is a popular fizzy drink. Not just one, not just that particular one. I'm sure there are other sodas that are the same. In every can of that particular drink, there can be as much as 17 teaspoons of sugar. Okay, 17. Now, there's also a study out that shows people who drink 4 or more cans of fizzy drinks are prone to low mood and depression. Well, given what we've just said about the body needing about depletion in vitamin B and about the more sugar you eat, the less vitamin B you have in your body, it's hardly surprising they're having low moods. If you are addicted to sugar, which of course it is addictive, and you do drink fizzy drinks, try to cut down to maybe 1 a day and see what that does to your mood. It might have something to do with how you feel. Increasing vitamin B, well, the best sources of vitamin B include leafy greens. I've just had a thought. Can you hear me? Yes, you can. Sorry. Where were we? Oh, yes. Vitamin B. Sources of vitamin B, leafy greens, vegetables, whole grains, meat, poultry, fish and milk products. Now, again, we probably know this, but I think out of that list, for me certainly, I could possibly do with eating a few more leafy greens and vegetables. So I would try to do that. Take that approach. If you know that you don't eat enough vegetables, try it for a while and monitor the difference in the way you feel. Just that kind of little tweak might make all the difference. Now then, I mentioned coffee. Well, very long term, a study in fact over 20 years with a large group of people has found that those people who drink coffee have a slightly reduced risk of death compared to those who don't drink coffee. And we're talking about people who drink up to 4 and 5 cups a day. Okay, now I drink a lot of coffee, but as luck would have it, I guess, or as almost by accident, I only drink it in the mornings. For some reason, if I have a hot drink later in the day, it tends to be tea. But so anywhere up until say 2 or 3 o'clock, I'll be drinking coffee. If you struggle sleeping, of course, coffee is a stimulant, so don't take it just before you go. Don't drink it just before you go to bed. So on top of that, coffee includes substances which reduce resistance to insulin and calm inflammation in the body, and it has antioxidants. drink it without sugar. And don't use artificial sweeteners. Wean yourself off the sugary bit altogether in your coffee is the best way to do it. Now, I can't drink it black, so I do drink hot milk. In fact, I have a very specific way of drinking my coffee, which I have after my power breakfast in the mornings, which incidentally, another study has proven that those people who don't eat breakfast are prone to low moods and depression also. So if you don't eat breakfast, it's time to start getting something to eat. Now, I started my power breakfasts when I was going through the menopause, and so I used the power breakfast to help with that. I have one particular one during the winter time and one during... Actually, I might do a breakfast with Chrissy, showing you my power breakfast and why I call it that, and the very specific way I make my coffee. So yeah, I can't drink it without milk, but it is skimmed milk that I use. So coffee boosts brain power. It strengthens the immune system, reduces stress, and it improves memory. So switch to drinking coffee, and you could well get all of those benefits, unless you have high blood pressure. And then I think, because I think coffee has an immediate effect of raising blood pressure. I'm not too sure about that. But anything that I say, please do your own research on it, because obviously I don't know everything and there's lots out there for you to look at. So 2 other things to add to your diet if they're not in there already. Bananas. Bananas one. It contains something called, I think it's called tryptophan, but that increases serotonin, which we need for mood regulation. So that will help too. But like anything else, don't eat 5 bananas in the day. Maybe half a banana chopped up over your breakfast, which you're going to start eating. And the other thing is chocolate. Well, we know chocolate's good for us. Proper chocolate, so 70% cocoa solids and higher. Now, it is an acquired taste. I started to do this. My problem was I became addicted to it. So it didn't work out for me, because it is an acquired taste, but once I'd acquired the taste, I was eating like half the bar. I couldn't stop at just 2 pieces. And so the negative effects of that on health are not good. So I stopped doing that. But if you are capable of just eating 1 piece or 2 at the most every day, 70% plus, it's very good for you. So try that. Okay, so lots of things you can do there then. Cut down on your sugar, increase your vegetables and leafy greens if you don't eat too much of those. Stop drinking fizzy drinks, start drinking coffee, eat some bananas and a little bit of chocolate. Ta-da! And wait until our expert can come along and tell us about how we can do even more to manipulate our diet in a lovely, jubbly way so that we can enjoy our food and also have our mood enhanced. I'm really looking forward to that. Now then, why was I reading that book on New York at Christmas in the Hygge video? Well, it's because I'm going to New York in December and I can't wait to see New York dressed up for Christmas. We've had a big year this year in this household. Mr. Kitchen and I were married 35 years. That's kind of one of the reasons we were in Alaska, celebrating that. And then my daughter had a 30th birthday and I have a big birthday coming up in March 2018. So this trip is just for my daughter and I. We're going together because she's very sentimental about Christmas too. So we're incredibly excited about that. Okay, so comments below. I love reading them. I've told you that. I absolutely love communicating with you in the comments. If you are new to the channel or if you haven't subscribed already, please do so, and then you'll be notified every time one of my videos comes out. Give me a thumbs up, share me, that would be great, help us reach our goal. And in the meantime, remember, on the Happy Stuff and Fluff channel, we are getting happier and growing younger. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye bye.